Yo, what is up, guys? I am back with another video. Today I'm going to be showcasing my Halo Scythe Destructo disc build. Yes, you heard it right. So the main priority of this build is to just spam the weapon art of the Halo Scythe. It has great damage, has really great range, and it tracks, as you can see. So for the incantations, we're going to be running the triple rings of light, Radagon's rings of light, golden vow, black flame, and the Lord's heal. So for the triple rings of light, this is a great high damage incantation that can be used for mob clearing and single target boss damage depending on who you're fighting. The interesting thing about this incantation is that it can hit twice. So if you throw out the rings, they will pause for a second and they'll come right back to you, hitting the enemy a second time as they retract. And we also have Radagon's Rings of Light. Now this will be your mob and trash killer. It has great damage, but its only drawback is that this skill has a slow startup. Like, you'll have to position yourself before using this ability. But the damage is there if you can manage to get this off. And we're going to be running Golden Vow for that buff to our damage. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to be running the Black Flame Incantation. Now, it does decent damage, and it has decent range. Now, if you run into an enemy that's resistant to holy damage, you can use this skill instead. Now, the thing about the Black Flame is that it's an offensive God Slayer incantation, so it deals percent HP damage, basically making it effective against enemies with like huge health pools, like bosses and whatever. And its effectiveness is tripled even further in multiplayer since the enemy HP scaling is based on the number of players in that lobby. So yeah, this is a really good incantation. And of course, you will want to run it with the Godslayer seal, which boosts Godslayer incantations. So it just makes it a whole lot more effective. So let us look into the actual weapon itself. The Halo Scythe has a D rank in scaling for Faith, which is not that high, but it's really not that noticeable with this weapon. C for Dex and D scaling for Strength. And the minimum attributes you need aren't really, like, they're really low. Like, you just need 13 Strength, 16 Dex, and 15 Faith. Now, early on in this game, you could use this Scythe as early as like level 20 if you were starting out as a Confessor. You can like just slap on like a Radagon Soreseal, and you won't even have to put like a single point into like Dex to use this. But yeah, it doesn't take much to use this weapon, and as you can see, it causes blood loss buildup. But yeah, its unique skill, Michaela's Ring of Light, summon Michaela's Shining Halo, and fire it forwards. Can be fired in rapid succession. So yeah, that skill alone is pretty much the start of this build, because it's going to be our main source of damage for bosses, pretty much. Alright, so for your stats, what you want to prioritize is, of course, Faith. And on top of that, you'll want to focus on your mind, endurance, and your vigor. Try to keep your mind and your endurance within, like, let's say 5 levels of each other, but preferably at the same level if you can. Because basically, like, the whole goal of this playstyle is to just spam your weapon skill as often as you can. So having a lot of mind, or having a lot of, like, FP and endurance is crucial for this build. Vigor, of course, for the health. Me personally, I am fine with like 45 vigor, but you can like push it higher if you want. Um, yeah, so the goal is put as many points into Faith as you can, while having points to spare for your mind, vigor, and endurance. Now, for me, my build in particular, you don't have to follow this example. Like, like I went overboard with the room farming. Like, you do not need 98 dexterity or 90 faith for this build, because like the soft cap pretty much ends at like 80. So me, that was just my personal preference of having it that high. But like you're fine with just like having 80 faith and whatever. Dexterity. You don't have to have it this high. Like that's entirely up to you. But me personally, I just wanted to have like some like points into dexterity as well, since my level permitted it. So yeah. Okay, and of course we cannot forget about our wondrous physics mix. Now we're going to be running the Holy Shrouding Crack tier for the boost in our holy damage, and we're going to run the Cerulean Hidden tier, which eliminates all FP consumption for a limited amount of time. Okay, so for our talismans, we're going to be running the Shard of Alexander. So yeah, just a boost to our damage for our skills, incantations, weapon skills, whatever. Flock's Canvas Talisman boosts the potency of our incantations, so that's more damage right there. Sacred Scorpion Charm raises our holy attack but lowers our damage negation, so it'll make us a little bit squishy. And we're going to be running Radagon Soreseal, which greatly raises attributes, but also increases damage taken. Now, you can swap this one out with maybe Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. You could run a Viridian Amber Medallion that could raise your maximum stamina, or you could run the Carrion Filigree Crest, which lowers FP consumed by skill, so you can like spam this a little bit more. But yeah, or you can before I forget to mention, you can run Ancestral Spirit Horn if you don't want to use that. Um, like between these, it's a toss up between these two. Like you can either use the Carrion Filigree Crest or you can use the Ancestral Spirit Horn. This restores HP on killing enemies. This just reduces the amount of FP consumed. So you can't go wrong with either or. So yeah, this is my setup, just my preference, but I'll show you where you can find these items. So, in addition to the God Slayer seal, we're going to be running the Erdtree seal in our left hand. As you can see, it has a S rank in faith scaling, which is absolutely huge, and this is our biggest buff to our incantation damage. So yeah, Halo Scythe in the right hand, Erdtree seal in the left hand. That's your setup most of the time when dealing with bosses. Um, Otherwise, God Slayer Seal if they just so happen to be resistant to holy damage. Alright, so in order to get the Halo Scythe, you'll want to come here to the heart of Aeonia in the Kalit region. Now, the Scythe, it drops from clean rot soldiers, and they just lurk in this area somewhere around here. Yep, right here. And then you can find another one over here somewhere. Yep, over here. Now, it'll take you a while to get this to drop. It took me about like 20-ish minutes to get this to drop. So yeah. Just keep killing them. And it should drop eventually. Okay, so in order to get the Sacred Scorpion Charm, what you're gonna have to do is come here to the Smoldering Church. Now, it's relatively easy to get here. You can either start from either of these gray sites and work your way over. But yeah, as you approach the church, you will be invaded by Anastasia the Tarnished. She won't appear since I've already killed her, but once you defeat her, she will drop the talisman. It's a really easy fight, so it won't take you long. Alright, in order to get the Radagon Soreseal, you're gonna have to come here to forfeit it. Yeah, so just follow my path on the video. You can ignore the enemies. You come up here, and you want to jump down here. You want to make your way over here. And you see this little hole right here? This is where you want to jump down. Then make your way around this corner. And you see this little opening here? Fuck off. You want to jump. Make this right. Ignore. Ow. And this is where you will find the talisman. Alright, so in order to get Flock's Canvas Talisman, you're going to want to come here. Gari's Shack. Now, once you come here, you will find Gari sitting in his chair. Now, if you kill him, he'll just automatically drop the talisman and his bell bearing. But with that being said, I highly urge you to talk to him first because he is the NPC that triggers Millicent's questline, and her questline in particular drops some very important items. So yeah, just get that questline out the way, and when all said is done, just come back here, kill Gari, and get the talisman. I'll leave a link in the description for the full questline guide. Okay, so the Shard of Alexander, this item is tied to a quest line you're going to have to do. I'll show you where you can start it. So you're going to want to come here to the Saints Bridge Great Site. Just follow me. Now, as you come up this hill, when you come to this spot right here, you will see a jar. The jar will be stuck in the ground right here. That is Alexander. You talk to him and you start his quest line. I will leave a link in the description for the full quest guide because it is a bit lengthy. But yeah, after you finish this quest line, you will get the Shard of Alexander. Okay, so for the Erdtree seal, you're going to want to come here. Prison Town Church Great Site. Now you're gonna have to explore this area a bit to find this area. But once you're here, I want to follow my path. Make your way down these stairs. And it will be in this corner right here on this dead body. So for the triple rings of light location, you're gonna want to come here. You want to make your way down here. Just make your way down. Let's get rid of these guys first. Yeah, make sure to have a stone key on you. And it'll be in this chest right here. Alright, so for the Radagon Ring of Light, you gotta come here to the Erdtree Sanctuary. Just follow my path. gonna jump through this window. There's a chest over here if you want to grab it. Give you the Erdtree bow. And it should be right there hanging from the ceiling. Yep, Golden Order principle. Now you turn this book in and you hand it to a cleric. You can go to the Church of Vows, and once you hand it to him, it'll give you the skill of Radagon's rings and Law of Regression. Yep, right here, Radagon rings and Law of Regression. So for the Golden Bow incantation, you can come here, come to the Bridge of Antiquity, and make your way up to the Corpse Stench Shack. That's where you're gonna find it. It'll be right here on this corpse. So the strategy for this build when doing boss fights is to call out your mimics here immediately, heal up, pop your Golden Bow for the damage buff, then pop your Wondrous Flags for that additional damage up, and then just from here on just spam your weapon art. Don't be up close to the boss like I was in this clip. Like, you want to be at a distance when just spamming your weapon skill. So yeah, your Mimic Tears is going to take the fight, and you're just going to go off on him like in the distance. And he's dead. And that is the build. I hope you guys enjoyed the vid. The Halo Scythe isn't a broken weapon by any means in comparison to the other weapons you could use, but it is most definitely a viable choice of damage if you want to make a build around this scythe. And I know this vid was quite lengthy. I'm still going through the growing pains of learning how to properly edit, so bear with me. In the future, I'll try to make these vids more efficient when delivering information. And before I forget, I will leave a link in the description on how to get the Godslayer seal and the Black Flame incantation. So with that being said, I will catch you guys later.